It's about the only word that begins to describe the milling mass of fur seals hauled out at their rookery at Cape Cross in southwest Africa. It's worse than the Costa Brava in August, but it's also very much the same. Cape Cross lies along the skeleton coast of the Namib Desert, one of the most inhospitable places in the world. From deep in the Antarctic seas, the Benguela Current sweeps northwards along the coast of southwest Africa. Its coldness prevents evaporation, and as a result, little rain falls on the land. But while this has created a barren wilderness inland, cold water welling up from the ocean depths makes the sea itself incredibly rich in life. Inland, there's desert, just mile after mile of sand. While at sea, there's immense richness. It's this combination of a rich sea and a deserted coastline that attracts the southern fur seals to Cape Cross. There's food in plenty and the freedom from disturbance that they need to breed. Unlike the true seals, fur seals have protruding external ears. Their long whiskers are extremely sensitive and are probably used as feelers when feeding in dark or murky water. The dense fur is very different from the coarse hair of the true seals, and it was the high quality of this fur that made them the prime quarry of the commercial sealers of last century. By 1900, they were almost extinct. Only international agreement as long ago as 1911 restricted the hunters and placed definite limits on the killing. Unlike true seals, these aggressive giants do not compete with commercial fisheries. Like whales, they feed almost entirely on krill, the 2-inch-long shrimp-like crustaceans that live among the plankton swarms. From the tip of its flipper to the point of its nose, a full-grown mature bull may measure 7.5 feet and weigh over 600 weight. Cows are smaller, usually growing to less than 6 feet, and at 250 pounds, weigh only as much as an Olympic discus thrower or a Japanese wrestler. Pups may weigh only 14 pounds at birth, but they grow very, very quickly. In late September, the first bulls come ashore to stake out their territories. Between them, they divide up the beach, ready for the arrival of the calves. Each bull has to fight for his patch, and though neighboring bulls soon learn where each other's boundaries lie, fighting and scuffling continue right through the season. Bull necked is an appropriate description of the older male fur seal, the beachmaster. For the 5 to 6 weeks spent ashore, he lives on the accumulated reserves of fat that he wears so grotesquely round his neck. He can't afford to leave his territory unguarded, even for the length of time it would take to grab a quick snack. His absence would give an opportunity to a younger bull to make a takeover bid, and there are plenty waiting to try. Secure on his territory and surrounded by his collection of fickle and unreliable wives, he has all that any bull could desire. A place where he can sleep, scratch, and make love without too many busybodies or rivals interfering. All the family seem to enjoy a snooze in the African sun. In fact, for much of the time, there just isn't anything else to do. The beachmaster dare not leave his territory, and the cows find it easy to feed among the rich offshore waters. So in the afternoons, peace descends on the rookery. It's sometimes difficult to get into the right position, but then all crowded beaches pose that problem. The only thing that's really worth waking up for is a good scratch. The fur seal's hind flippers are equipped with 5 nails that make perfect scratches. They're just like our fingernails, and the seal is just as adept at finding itches with them. After 2 or 3 days ashore, cows commence labor. It's a process that looks and presumably is quite painful. But it's something that each cow will repeat every year at this time for most of her life. The majority of pups are born flipper first. In human terms, we'd call it a breech birth. But with fur seals, it's perfectly natural and normal. The beachmaster usually sleeps through the whole performance, but it's his presence that ensures that the cow is left in peace to get on with the job without interruptions. A younger bull cannot guarantee this freedom from disturbance. It's the order that the beachmaster creates from this apparent chaos that makes him such a desirable mate. The newly born pup is treated to a good shake and thrown about by its mother. Most likely this helps the pup to breathe and serves the same function as slapping a newborn baby's bottom. When all is well, mother settles down for a much-needed rest, while the pup makes its first efforts to feed. As in all mammals, suckling is instinctive. And though it's not easy to find the right spot, the pup soon learns where it is and how it works. Fur seals make ideal mothers. They appear so tender and understanding, and are almost human in the way they cuddle and pet their offspring. At this stage, they are everything to the pup. And should anything happen to its mother, the pup too would be doomed. Cases of adoption are virtually unknown. The beachmaster seldom seems so understanding. Having 700 pounds of bull fur seals sitting on your flipper is no joke. There's not much that mother can do to help here, except perhaps roar a protest. Inevitably, on a crowded beach, some pups get lost. Pup recognition is in part a matter of smell, so the plaintive waif is treated to a few sniffs before being ignored. Everybody else just gets on with their own business. Other cow seals are more aggressive. They just can't stand intruders. An old battle axe like this can seriously injure or even kill a young pup that has strayed from his rightful place. This sort of aggression would be meted out to any trespasser. It's just that a pup cannot withdraw as quickly as an adult. At last, Mother returns, wet and dark from the sea. And the pup is carried unceremoniously back to where he belongs. Unlike their mates, cows do not develop reserves of fat. They don't need to. And soon after their pup is born, they go to sea to feed on the rich harvest of krill that sweeps past their doorstep. Some pups don't seem to know when they're onto a good thing. They're never happy unless they're roaming, or at least attempting to. A hot and fractious pup can prove too much even for the most doting mother's patience. And as a last resort, she decides that a good dunking in the sea just might dampen his spirit a little. While the cows get on with the chores of motherhood, the beachmaster has other problems. Problems that are frequently solved with incredible savagery. Almost everything that a beachmaster needs can be found on his own territory. But every so often, the heat on the beach becomes absolutely unbearable, and he must take to the water to cool off. It's refreshing away from the heat of the tropical sun, and the bulls seem to enjoy the engulfing movement of the cold water. A top male's territory may have a rock pool or runnel where he can take a bath. But usually even the beachmaster has to share such luxury with neighbors. Disputes arise. But these are simple confrontations between two dominant personalities, and as such they lack the seriousness of true territorial fights. For most bulls, cooling means the sea. Leaving his patch to take a bath is a risky thing to do. While he's away, there's always the chance that another, perhaps younger bull, will move in and try to take over his territory and harem. Fresh and cool from the sea, the Beachmaster returns to his patch to greet his wives. Another bull has moved in, and soon half a ton of fur seal is locked in a toothy half Nelson. This is a struggle for supremacy which the legitimate owner nearly always wins. The challenger may be freshly arrived, or perhaps one of the many spare bulls that occupy unfavorable territories at the edge of the rookery. Such bulls are always on the lookout for an opportunity to move into the big league. Cows and pups leap or are brushed aside as half a ton of fur seal hurtles past. Often pups are squashed to death. But some fortunates manage to escape with nothing much worse than a nasty bumpy. Now the Beachmaster seems to have the upper hand, and finally the intruder is beaten off and makes for the safety of the higher beach to fight again another day. The Beachmaster returns to his patch in the sun, but winner and loser alike suffer during these tough encounters. Pup mortality is often high, and fighting among bulls one of the most frequent causes of death. Dead pups and afterbirths attract a number of scavengers to Cape Cross, though you don't expect to find sanderlings feeding on carrion. Turnstones are more noted for their tidying up operations, and the Dominican gull uses its formidable bill to hack into the carcass of a dead seal. Of the terrestrial scavengers, only silverbacked jackals can find a living at Cape Cross. Small packs roam at will round the edges of the rookery, snapping up whatever unconsidered trifles they can. But they dare not enter the rookery itself. The love life of the fur seal is frequently initiated by the cow, which pulls at the bull's neck and whiskers with her teeth. A cow will mate again within 6 days of giving birth to her pup and within 10 days of coming ashore. The length of pregnancy is not, however, almost a full year, as one would imagine. Implantation, the commencement of the embryo's development, is delayed automatically until April or May, and the true period is thus only 7 months. After giving birth and having mated ready for the process to continue next year, cows begin to spend longer periods of time away from their pups. Part of this is spent feeding. But like all mothers, fur seals like to untie their apron strings from time to time and enjoy one of their favorite pastimes, surfing. Seals may be cumbersome on land, but they are perfectly adapted to the sea. Clumsiness and awkwardness disappear, and the animals revel in their true element. Cape Cross is an underwater garden. Rich in plant and animal life, it is a home for a huge variety of plankton, fish, and other marine creatures. It is the richness of the ocean and the security of the shore that bring the fur seals to Cape Cross year after year. Here and at a few other isolated places in the world, they are safe from the persecution that once took them to the verge of extinction. Safe from man, safe to breed. Within 10 months, the bulls will haul out here again, stake out their territories, fight to defend them, and gather another harem. They will provide peace for the birth of pups conceived this year, and peace to enable them to mate and conceive once more. Like human families on a beach, there's a great deal of order beneath the apparent chaos.